Welcome to the Blitzes Brews podcast. Breaking news, bold debates, and ice-cold beers. Crack one open and let's talk football.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Blitzes and Brews podcast. If you like football and a little bit of debate, then you're in the right place. Let's crack one open. Oh, I didn't even spill.
Nice.
And get right into this.
We have a great episode planned here today, guys. We're going to be doing an NFL tier list, talking about each team individually, division by division, and placing them on a chart that we have here that will be shown on the screen. So let's get into it. We're going to start with the NFC South in the New Orleans Saints.
That was a solid pour there, Tim. I can't lie.
Brendan, you
All
want
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
one second,
we're gonna start with the New Orleans Saints. This is probably one of the most unappetizing teams in the NFL. No offense if you're a Saints fan, but like I don't really see much of a difference this year coming up than last year. They're still sticking with Derek Carr. I think they might go quarterback. What do they have? The 9th pick, I believe. They might go that direction, but I feel like it's going to be Derek Carr to start the season. Just not a whole lot that I see from the Saints. I'm not expecting much.
No, that team sucks.
Yeah.
They really have nothing going for them.
Well,
They're in cap space hell.
Yeah, the one thing they do have going for them is the NFC South isn't very strong. I mean, the Panthers,
Yeah,
I don't think they really are going to take a step up either, but Tampa's, in my opinion, the best team in that division.
Yeah, and I mean,
Atlanta's solid, heading in the right direction, but Tampa is definitely the team to beat. Although they are getting a little bit older. Godwin's coming off a big injury, and Mike Evans getting older. But yeah, I mean, that's really the only thing that could be going for the Saints. Is that
yeah, and I know I touched on it with you guys during the week. My interesting take on the Saints is if they will draft a quarterback. I say no, because they're going to wait and draft Garrett Nussmeier from LSU.
That's right.
Because his dad just got the OC job there. It's going to be a little bit of daddy ball.
That's a
Gonna
nice
be-
little nugget there. I did not know that.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
kind of flew right over my head during the
So
offseason.
that'll be
Wow.
interesting. But I think we're all pretty much in agreement here. I wouldn't say that they're number one pick contention. I mean, you saw early on first 2 games last year, they kind of popped off out of nowhere,
Yeah,
putting
they
up like
did.
40 points a game, and then of course fell off.
Yeah, good point.
I would say we're pretty clear to say that they're mediocre at best. Might be a team that can catch a win here and there, but other than that, I mean, they're not going to go anywhere.
I agree.
All right, yeah.
I'm thinking like 5-6 wins for the Saints next season would be my guess.
Yeah, 5-12 last year, so I think pretty much the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next
Getting
team,
into Tampa.
yeah, getting in.
Had a solid season last year. I think, like you mentioned, Evans getting a little bit older, Godwin coming off the injury.
But Bucky Irving might just be the best player in the NFL.
Yeah. And defensively wise, I don't think they really lost too much in the offseason.
No, they seem to stay pretty
Pretty stagnant team.
Stay where they are, which is fine. I think Baker took that team to a nice level. He found a nice home there. So I like Tampa Bay. I don't think much will change with them. 10-7 last year. I think we're going to be seeing something similar.
Yeah.
in
I
my
think
opinion.
maybe if Todd Bowles can start talking to the team a little bit instead of just sitting on the sideline staring at them. Give him a little bit of hype, every now and then.
He's the most stoic person I know.
Doesn't say a
It's
word.
insane.
He's the Paul Skeens
So
of NFL
calm.
coaches.
He is. He really, really is.
But yeah, I mean, given this division, I think it's pretty safe to say Tampa will be a playoff team. Because more than likely, they're going to win this division.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
based off of the Bucks roster, I think they're gonna win the division no problem. But looking forward into, they're a playoff team because they're probably gonna win the division. But I don't quite see them as a Super Bowl contender. I don't think they're quite there yet. I love Baker. I think he can make some magic happen. But NFC's tough. I don't think they can go much further than the divisional round here.
Yeah.
So I'd put them at playoff team.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Really, no objections whenever it comes to that. I don't think they could do too much in the rest of this offseason to take them to that next level. They could prove me wrong, but
Yeah.
I'd say just playoff team for now. Could make some noise. Never know. But
moving on, we're on to who? Carolina.
Carolina.
Carolina's an interesting team because towards the end of the year, I mean, they did start to show some signs. Bryce Young seemed like he figured it out to a degree. So I am curious to see them. Still don't think that they're a playoff team. 5-12 last year, maybe something similar, maybe a couple more wins, but I don't see them taking this division from Tampa really anytime soon.
No, I don't either. They're interesting. I feel like they didn't do much during the offseason.
No,
I mean, they may have like retained some of their talents, but
Rico Dowdle. Are you kidding
oh,
me?
true. Yeah,
Jeez.
Super Bowl favorites actually. Yeah, I forgot about that. I like their team a lot though. I feel like they have a lot of like hard playing offensive players. Their defense is not great, but like I'd like to see Bryce Young succeed in the NFL. He showed some flashes at the end of the year. I think they have a good coaching staff in Carolina. But Adam Thielen can't play until he's 50. So they need to get some other. Xavier Leggette's not it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Wasted a first on him last year.
Yeah,
I can't
exactly.
believe they're not
was
trying to get
horrible.
more help for Bryce Young.
That's what I mean. They don't help him at all. They have
No.
Xavier Legette is not.
And
Yeah,
I saw that their line is like really good or anything.
No,
Like their run
it's-
game's solid. Chuba kind of popped off.
Yeah, I mean Chuba did.
But if he didn't, how bad would they have been?
right.
I mean, I know they took Brooks. They were trying to get that offense some juice.
Before his knee exploded.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was super unfortunate. But I just don't see enough there for them to really beat any top 15 team.
Yeah.
in a-
What are we thinking then? Mediocre, best, number one pick contention? I
think-
don't think they're number
I
one.
think
pick
they're out of the
contention.
number one pick contention.
I
Yeah,
honestly,
agree.
I mean, you could argue that they'll have a better season than the Saints, but they're right there.
I don't think they're a potential wildcard team though.
No. Mediocre at best, for sure. Just a matter of better or worse than the Saints. I don't think it really
Yeah.
matters.
Moving on, we have Atlanta Falcons. That's another interesting one. Michael Penix also showed some flashes. Really strong quarterback class last year altogether. I think for the most part, all the rookies we did see played pretty well.
Yeah, you love to see that.
Yeah,
That's not all too common nowadays in the NFL. It's hard to convert to the NFL, and yeah, I mean, a lot of people. It's crazy because all three of us and a lot of other people watching the draft last year when they picked Penix, we're like, "What are you doing? You have Kirk Cousins," and then
Right.
you see Kirk Cousins play. We watched it pretty in depth because we were, Steeler fans playing them week 2, but you're like, man, this guy cannot play anymore. I
Right.
mean, the Achilles injury was more serious than we may have thought. I don't know why they threw so much money at him. Maybe they were worried that they couldn't get Penix and they really wanted to get him. And that was just like a backup security plan. But
Yeah,
like the pick paid off.
that's a good point because was there any doubt that Penix wouldn't be there? Like I feel like everybody
I
knew
don't think
Penix
I
would
don't
be
think
there.
there was. I don't know if they
Oh,
thought
yeah,
maybe
he was
like
projected second, late first.
yeah.
Yeah,
Second.
exactly.
And
yeah.
they picked him
I
at
mean,
9, I think.
Yeah, I think 9.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make much sense, but
No,
turned out to be a pretty good pick for them.
personally,
think
I don't
Penix
think
is
we saw
legit.
enough out of Penix to say that he's legit at this point.
Not legit yet.
Plus-
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a lefty. You know how I feel about lefties.
It's also the NFC South though.
Yeah, it is the NFC South.
It's almost
but
like
he's
the UFL.
also on the Falcons.
It's
I mean,
like the
that
UFL.
team is a poverty team.
I will say
Um,
though, Penix and Drake London had some serious connection.
They did
in
have a
week
good
18.
connection. So
Kyle Pitts, dude, great tight end.
Yeah. What even?
Make sure
what
you draft
position
him in
does he even
fantasy.
play?
Yeah, what a bust.
I don't see anything special out of Atlanta. I'd say mediocre at best, to be
Agreed.
honest.
Yeah, I'm right there
I
with
mean,
you.
they were 8-9 last year. I don't see that changing that much. I think this division stays pretty much the exact same that it did last year.
Yep.
When you see,
Just in that order.
yeah, Tampa 10-7, Falcons 8-9, Panthers 5-12, Saints 5-12. Pretty much going to be the exact same, I think.
I would agree.
Yeah,
But I
put
do
the
think in the
Falcons on way
future,
left there too.
in the future
better than-
years moving forward, I think the Falcons may run that division for a little bit, just because of the age of Tampa's roster. They have a lot of older players, and Atlanta has a lot of young players who I think can flourish in the NFL. So,
Yeah. Let's jump into a more interesting division here.
well, not by much.
The AFC East, starting with Miami, Tyreek Hill seems to not be able to find his way out of trouble.
Yeah, another domestic
Another
abuse
yeah,
charge coming his way.
I mean, he's that team, especially with Tua, who is very questionable, shows a lot of good things, shows a lot of bad things. I mean, they do need a receiver. I mean, Tyreek's a great player, don't get me wrong, but they probably need somebody that's a little bit more focused on playing football,
Yeah.
not everything else that goes on to it. Because, I mean, I don't know. Tua struggles enough that he needs that, I think. They're an interesting team, a lot of talent, but I still don't see them doing much yet.
It's interesting to think about Tyreek because whenever the Chiefs moved on from Tyreek, everybody kind of thought, why would you do a thing like that?
Mhm.
You have such a good connection with Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, but maybe kind of we're seeing a little bit as to why that happened. Maybe, we didn't know much about what was happening with Tyreek's lifestyle necessarily, but the Chiefs knew more in depth what kind of person he was, and they were like, we got to move on from a guy like this because he's not, the Chiefs have a high standard
Yeah,
when it comes to football, and I think maybe some of that got kind of overlooked.
Yeah,
Not
and-
high enough to bring back Kareem Hunt last year, though.
That is a good point.
yeah, that's very true.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, I guess.
But like, especially with Tyreek, I hate that the guys that so quickly, like after the season ended, it's like, oh yeah, I'm not playing there anymore. I'm getting like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just, what do you say? What if there's nowhere else to go and you end up back on the roster? What did that just say to all your teammates?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
You just basically said you don't want to be there. So,
Right.
Mike McDaniel too. He's kind of a question mark for me. I think he runs it. I don't even know if I want to say it's a good offensive scheme. It's an interesting one, but it like solely relies on
Everyone being healthy.
yes.
Everything working
I
out
think
perfectly. And what it does, they might be the best
Tua
team.
being
best
healthy.
offense, but-
When he was out last year, that team was horrible.
Dude,
Yeah.
and
It
no
was one of the
backup
worst
plan
teams
at
I've ever
quarterback.
seen in my life. None.
Yeah, none.
If Tua is not healthy, which we know how much he struggles to stay healthy,
Oh, yeah.
that team is bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
One of the worst in the NFL.
And it's for argument's sake, yes, obviously every team is going to have a falling off when their starting quarterback
Mhm.
is not healthy, but theirs is so significant. Like you said, like they look like number one pick contention. Terrible if Tua's not in there.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I don't know. And also, yes, with how injury prone Tua is,
I'm worried, man. It's really easy in the NFL to get a concussion. And he's one concussion away, always. I feel like from here until his career ends
to being done.
to being done. If he gets one, even if it's a minor concussion, it's going to keep him out for at least. I mean, he's going on the IR.
Mhm.
You saw it last year. He went on the IR. Doesn't matter if it's a major, minor. Doesn't matter what happens. They're going to be super cautious with him. And he came out and said he has no plan to wear any guardian cap or any protection around his head. So,
that guardian cap doesn't even work.
I mean, if you were one shot away from death, I'd probably be willing to take that chance. But
Yeah.
I
He just
mean-
needs to stop running that ball.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
whenever he
dude-
throws a pick, he needs to stop trying to dolphin dive. I mean,
Yeah.
he's trying to play the role of a dolphin too much. And he's dolphin dive into people's legs whenever he throws a pick.
Literally slide though. They teach you to slide.
I know.
And he doesn't. I get it, but
It's
also at the same
insane.
time, you have to respect, sometimes when he is doing that, he is like trying to get that first down, trying to do that. Like you like the grittiness there, but
Mm-hmm.
Not in this case.
not in this case.
Yeah. Maybe early on in his career. But where would you guys put them? Because
Honestly,
they're
I'm
a
gonna
really,
put
really weird
mediocre
team.
at best again.
I kinda do.
Like,
I'm not against that. I mean, even if Tua stays healthy the entire season, they're not going to win the division against the Bills. So they're looking at a wild card at the best case scenario. AFC's tough, man. They got a lot
It
of good
is.
teams in the AFC. I mean, you saw the Bengals got held out last year. Broncos are up and rising. So, I mean,
I'm gonna give a top of mediocre at best.
Yeah,
I
I
think they're
agree.
better than the Falcons.
I think they're right
but
on the cusp. I wouldn't be surprised if they made the playoffs, but it would take everything to have to work out perfectly for that to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm with you there, mediocre at best.
All right.
Now we move on to our first good team
Yeah.
so far.
I mean, this is an easy one for me. I'm gonna say, well, I don't know.
Yeah,
is
I
this
mean,
an easy one?
It's easy in the fact that it's either Super Bowl favorites or contenders. But when you look at the Bills' history in the playoffs, obviously they haven't had much success.
I mean, when or if is Josh Allen gonna get past Patrick Mahomes?
I will say I think Joey Bosa signing really helps them out.
It does. I agree
Because
with
that clearly shows to me that they were missing a guy that can contain a Patrick Mahomes, a Joe Burrow. Their defense isn't bad, but Patrick Mahomes is just too good. And he seems to, like Josh, it's not the offense's problem. Josh Allen is going out there and scoring as many points as he possibly can. The offense is electric. He's great. But it's always just Mahomes is a little bit better.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow was a little bit better, whoever it is that they lose to. And I think Joey Bosa might, if he stays healthy, he might be the difference maker to make them
Yeah.
a Super Bowl contender, literally be in the Super Bowl, but I don't know if you can say they're favorites.
I mean, it has to be with the defense too, because you saw throughout the entire year, they were one of the only teams where their starters were coming out of the game in the third, fourth quarters because they were just dominating that much.
Yeah.
Their offense didn't struggle to put up any points. Defense, I think Bosa is going to help them out a little bit. We'll see. We'll see if that could take them to the next level. I think they're contenders right now. I think these top 2 tiers are very exclusive to really the best teams, obviously.
Yes. That's kind
I
of where
don't-
I'm at too.
Mm-hmm.
So I
don't think
don't
they've
quite.
done. I don't know.
No, I'm with you. I don't
We'll
think
see.
they've done quite enough
You know what I love though?
make them Super Bowl favorites based off of what happened the past 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But they did retain Damar Hamlin. So
True.
That's
Well,
true.
but another signing,
That
I
is
know,
big
I know we've talked about it. The Josh Palmer signing, I love that.
I love it
signing
too.
for him.
I forgot
think
about
he's a
that, honestly.
great fit to play on that team.
Dude, yeah.
He's garbage. He's so bad.
And he got
He's
Khalil
not.
Shakir.
Yes, he is.
Tim's boy,
he is
Shakir.
just fine.
That is my boy. I was on Khalil Shakir before anybody else in this world.
Yeah.
Even his family.
Even his parents. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You had to call them and tell them that he was going to get drafted
Yeah, I was
for
like,
real.
this guy's it. He's the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills just do everything right, and they're so close. I mean, they're a team that I feel like almost everyone in the NFL or any NFL fan would love to see them win besides, the team they're opposing. But they're just a team that just has had a lot of hard luck throughout their franchise. I personally would like to see them. If they won, I'd be happy for them. But
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't know if one signing is necessarily enough, 2 signings, but we'll
Yeah.
see. I'd have them at Super Bowl contenders.
I'm with that too.
Probably leading the charge in that category.
On to the Patriots.
Another interesting team.
Yeah, most notable signing for them was Stephon Diggs. I think May needed some help at wide receiver. He had none. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
They drafted Polk last year. Expected him to be something good. Didn't work out.
At all.
Not to say, he can't elevate his game. I don't think Diggs will help him with doing that. He's a very
He just
selfish
wants the ball,
person.
yeah.
But I think Diggs signing was very good for them. Not really enough yet for me to say that they're going to be, how good they're going to be this year. They're an interesting one. I think May showed a lot of promise last year.
Let me ask you, where do you categorize them?
I don't. I'm still seeing mediocre.
See,
now.
I'm gonna go potential wild cards. I think that they have everything almost right there, besides the ugly contract of Ramondre Stevenson, who's not very good.
Well,
But
yeah.
I like Drake May a lot. I think he is hopefully gonna take him right to the next level. But yeah, they're an interesting one. They definitely have some work to do. But I don't know.
Well, the one thing I will say is I would not be surprised in the slightest. We're just looking at the tier list right now. I would not be surprised in the slightest if they finished second in the division, ahead of the Dolphins, behind the Bills. And I think Stephon Diggs was a great signing for them because I think Drake May needs a veteran receiver like that. It sounds like all signs point to Diggs having a great recovery. He should be good for the beginning of the season, but I think Mike Vrabel is really, really good addition for the Patriots.
Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
feel like he's the type of guy. I mean, he played for the Patriots. He knows the culture there. I think he can elevate that team back to where they were, not necessarily as good, obviously, as the Belichick-Brady era, but, culture-wise, I think he can get that team back on track because they were lost. They also have a very, very bad defense. Their defense was awful last year. I don't know if they plan on adding, high draft picks to that and trying to build up that defense, but I'm still not quite there with them being a wild card. I'd still say they're mediocre at best, but I do think they're going to be better.
Sure,
Mhm.
fair
They're
enough.
definitely on the incline. We'll see what direction they go with that 4th pick too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
I mean,
Yeah.
would Travis Hunter be a nice addition to that team?
I think he'd be great.
I think he'd be
Pair him
perfect.
up, Christian Gonzalez, Travis Hunter. That sounds good.
Gonzalez got hurt last year, right?
Do last year, the year before, but I mean,
think-
he's the only player on that defense, I think.
Yeah, he's unreal. He had a really good rookie season. I'm pretty sure he got hurt midway through the season last year. I mean, if they can, I don't think Abdul Carter from Penn State will make it that far, but him, Hunter, there's a lot of good
I think
D
they
linemen that
need
they
help
can
on
pick.
offense and defense. The Patriots. I think if Hunter is there, I think they
Perfect
take
fit.
him, and that would be so perfect.
I
for
think
them.
that'd be
That would be an
We'll see if he
interesting one.
falls to them.
Because to your point, Tim, it's like he is a guy that can help you on both
Mhm.
sides.
Yep. And they need help on both sides.
yeah.
I mean, that's perfect.
Another weapon. Then another good corner. But yeah, I think you two versus one,
Yeah.
mediocre at best. It's fair.
Yeah. They're right there on the line there.
Eat dirt. What? Okay.
We
New York
have
Jets.
I think this is a layup, number one pick contention.
absolutely.
I'm just gonna throw them in there
I have 2,
already.
3
but
teams
let's-
that are
let's
automatic
talk about
locks
it.
for this category, for this row, but that Justin Fields signing was not nearly enough for them to be much better than they were last year.
No.
I like Aaron Glenn as a hire, but I think it's going to take at least a year for them to get back on track.
Yeah.
To be somewhat competitive in any games, man. They were so bad on so many levels last year. That defense was supposed to be a top 5 defense in the NFL, and it just dissipated, it evaporated mid-season. And what do? Let's fire our defensive-minded head coach, Robert Salah. That's
Made
a
no
great
sense.
idea. And then they just straight downhill from there. I know that Aaron Rodgers is an easy scapegoat for how things went last year, but I think there's so many more levels to what this team needs to do to even be considered a playoff team.
Yeah, I don't want to
mean,
run
it
laps
is-
on you guys either, but I know we mentioned this. Actually, that your bachelor party
Yeah.
was
Keyword bachelor
whenever-
party. I was incoherent. I
mean,
don't
was
remember
talking
this
about how
conversation.
they are not a quarterback away from being
True.
a playoff team.
They're not.
They have so many things to fix. Culture-wise, they just have nothing going their way.
There's a lot of
They-
media
they
that was
just-
saying that they're a top 5 roster going into last year.
Uh-huh,
I
yeah.
didn't. I get Sauce Gardner's good. They had a lot of high draft picks. Garrett
Yeah,
Wilson was a
Garrett
nice
Wilson's
pick.
good, but-
You got Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson in the same draft, I think. First round, second round. Like, they looked like they were going to just shoot up, go get a veteran quarterback and Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers.
they had a
but
solid defense too. Like
I-
it was like their offense was a struggle going into last year, and then we saw nothing out of their offense.
Nothing.
Their defense just went straight downhill, and now they have no identity.
Yeah.
No, I think just me speculating what I think they'll be, especially with Aaron Glenn, another defensive-minded head coach.
Mhm.
Dude, it's gonna be run the ball. Justin Fields, Brees Hall, Braylon Allen, run the ball.
So another thing that I'd like to bring up is Aaron Glenn came out and said there's all kinds of speculations. I don't know if there's smoke screens or what's going on, but obviously Brees Hall you think would be a featured back. They drafted him, high prospect at Iowa State in the second round. He had a great, was his rookie year, second year? I can't remember which year he got hurt. He was
Rookie
hurt.
year, he got hurt.
Rookie year, yeah. So his second year had an awesome year. He has everything you need in a running back, good pass catcher, explosive. And Aaron Glenn came out and said, we might turn this running backfield into a committee. And I know Braylon Allen, he looked great too.
He
and
did
he's really
look good.
young, and I mean, he had a
Isaiah
great
Davis
rookie
is
season.
also good
Isaiah
back,
Davis,
but
yeah.
that would be their third guy in that 3-headed backfield.
Yeah, I don't know if that kind of comes from the culture of Detroit, where we're not going to burn out a running back, especially one like Brees Hall, who's had so many significant
Well,
injuries.
and then you just added a whole another element to that, though, with Justin Fields.
And Justin Fields, you're right. So
There's-
it's like you're not going to know what direction to head in. And maybe, Justin Fields has a lot of knocks about his arm talent
Yeah.
and his decision making during an NFL game, but maybe he doesn't necessarily need to throw more than 15, 20 times a game for them
Yeah.
to just be able to run the piss out of the ball and kind of move in that direction. So I'm very curious. I also saw that potentially if Ashton Genty falls to the Jets,
That'd be crazy.
they think about trading Brees Hall.
Oh,
But
okay.
a lot. I mean, I would not be surprised at all if the Raiders took Genty, which they have the pick right before the Jets. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Draft day is gonna be interesting for them.
It's like, I don't understand that. Like, they could run with Braylon Allen as their RB1 and
Yeah.
Davis as their 2. And
and just get a
not
free
dr-
second
yeah.
round draft pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Brees Hall.
yeah,
I don't know.
like, why would they even
Well,
think about that?
I think it's
know.
a smoke screen. You don't come on and just say that. Like
I
right
don't
before
know.
the
It's the
draft.
Jets, man. They're pretty stupid.
Let's just
good
be
point.
honest.
That's a good point. Valid.
Cut to the chase. This team sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number one contention.
Moving on to our division. Our division, not his.
Not his.
The AFC
Not a fan.
North.
This guy's just a NFL fan. We have the Baltimore Ravens. Remember them? They used to be in your team's division.
Your favorite team?
Yeah, I mean this is a pretty easy category for me. They have one of the best rosters in the NFL easily. Offense stacked, defense stacked. I mean, 2-time MVP, Lamar Jackson. My only knock with them is that Lamar can't win big games in the
Yeah.
playoffs. And until he does so, I don't care if he throws for 10,000 yards and runs for 15,000 yards. When it comes to playoffs, you got to win.
Yeah.
And he's not done that so far in his career. So for me, I can't say they're a Super Bowl favorite, but I cannot say that they're not at least contenders with how good that roster is.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they do have a dinosaur at running back, but it doesn't matter for him. He's a unicorn. At the same time, he just can run through anybody's face.
Yeah.
Team all around, just solid.
Everywhere.
Very solid.
Both sides, both lines. Like,
Yeah, and we hate to say this about Baltimore because we hate them.
Yeah.
Hate them with a passion. But solid team. Like you said, Lamar can't win the big games or hasn't shown that yet. But did show so much improvement with his arm last year.
he did.
He threw 3 picks, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 2 of them weren't even his fault.
Yeah.
Peyton Wilson.
So that's just crazy. How much he improved last year. We'll see if he could keep that up moving forward. Hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully he throws like 50 picks, 2 touchdowns.
18 fumbles.
Yeah.
Are you agreeing Super Bowl contenders then?
Yeah, contenders. I'm gonna put them below the Bills, just because.
Well, now that I think about it, based off of what I said, although they could be contenders, could they really be Super Bowl contenders when they can't win more than one playoff game?
Yeah, I still
Yeah.
think because you always have the threat of them going there. Like
I
I
agree,
said,
yeah.
that not that I want this to happen. I want to put them in Super Bowl favorites, but exactly to your guys' point. I mean,
Yeah.
they haven't shown it yet. I mean, they made a title game, conference championship game.
They did.
But again, it's just falling apart at the big game.
Yeah, and again, you have to beat the Bills and
Yeah.
the Chiefs. Potentially both.
Yeah.
And I don't think they can do one, let alone 2.
Right.
So until I see it, until I see Lamar, or maybe it's Mark Andrews' fault. Based
It
on
is
what
Mark
happened
Andrews'
last
fault a
year.
lot too.
It doesn't matter. Harbaugh, Lamar.
Well,
Mark
Kincaid
Andrews.
fell apart for the Bills too.
that's true.
But yeah,
It's tough.
all right.
It's
I
a
think
tough
we're all in
playoff to
agreement
watch.
there. Ravens. Super Bowl
Would you put
contenders.
them? I'd put them right behind the Bills, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bills
that's
beat
where
them
I
I
am.
think
last
the
year.
Bills
so-
have shown
yeah.
more. Yeah, they beat them.
Moving on
head.
to the Bengals. They have. What are they thinking?
I don't know.
What are they thinking? Signing T and Jamar to as much money as they did. They have all of their money tied up in 3 guys.
Yep.
They have no defense. They needed a lot of help at defense because it was atrocious. That was the only reason they were losing games last year.
Yeah.
We saw how many points they put up against everybody they played. And
Dude, they let up like
they say, okay, we're just going to keep running with this. I don't know what their plan is. I'm really confused. Sure, they have one of the, if not the most explosive offensives in the league, but they have nothing on defense.
yeah, they can kind of score at will on offense. I don't know. If I were them, I would have looked at trying to move on from T. Higgins. Obviously, Jamar's a guy that you need after seeing his connection with Joe, and just, I mean, he's one of the best receivers in the league easily. So, I mean, Trey Hendrickson is not happy. He's one of the best defensemen in the league, one of the best D linemen in the league, and I don't think they have any. I don't even know if they can sign him for what he's worth.
not.
Even if he takes a cut, I don't know where that would put the Bengals salary cap wise, but.
I mean, they're a team that is just really, really banking on drafting defense, and those guys all better hit because if
Yeah.
they don't, I mean, you know,
Where does that put you?
yeah, I mean, I get it. It's an offensive league now. It's, you know, you want to be able to put up all those points, but you played the shootout against the Steelers and you lost.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's pretty
That
bad.
almost never happens.
And the Steelers' offense is nothing to be like they should be putting up. How many points did they put up?
I think it
40?
was like 44 or something.
44.
When's
it
the
wa- it
last
was
time that's happened?
at the
Probably
time?
whenever Big Ben was playing with AB.
Yeah,
Probably.
when AB had like 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The at the time when that game happened, it was the highest over under the entire year, and the Steelers were involved. Like, think
I
about
know.
what that takes. Like,
Yeah, that's
on both
insane.
sides, that shows like the Steelers have a great defense. They're a defensive-minded team, and they don't have much of an identity or anything. They don't score a lot of points on offense. but just it being the highest scoring game shows that their offense is that damn good and their defense is that damn bad. So I don't know what the hell they're going to do. I don't really know where to put them. Obviously, this is a team that if they figure it out on defense, they fired their DC. They're bringing in, I forget who they brought in, but it's someone that will likely be better. But, I mean, just based off of what I saw last year, I have a hard time saying that they couldn't potentially be wild cards. Just based off of how good that offense is, they had a really strong push at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Also, the Bengals, since they got Joe Burrow, have struggled very much early in the season. I mean, they lost the first 2 games. They lost to the Browns, and I forget who else, but it was 2 pretty bad losses.
They do take a minute to pick things up. Like, they look horrible at the beginning of the season, then they pick it up. They're fighting back towards the end.
Then it was too late.
They were 5-0 to end the year.
5-0 to end the
Last
year.
5 they were 5-0.
And I think they were 0-2 to start the year against. I think it was 2 pretty bad losses.
I'm struggling to remember too, like when T was out last year because he's injured a lot. Like Jamar is still putting up plenty of numbers for that. Like that offense is still functioning without
Chase
him.
Brown's
and
good.
When you have Yossi Voss, he looked
Yeah.
pretty good
Yeah,
too.
he
did.
I mean, it helps when you have Joe Burrow throwing the ball, but
Well, there was free agents they could have signed too if they decided to move on from him.
I'm gonna put Bengals as potential wild cards.
That's
Yeah.
where I would put
No,
them. They'd probably be on the back end of
because
that for me.
they're also at the same time, I feel like a team that can beat anybody.
They could.
If they get in that shootout with somebody,
Yeah,
if
they
this
lost.
goes away, but
They lost to the Patriots at home last year,
Yeah, that's
and
terrible.
Jacoby Brissett was the quarterback. So that's all you need to know about that.
all right. Our
yeah.
first potential wild card team will be the Bengals. Now time for the Cleveland Poops.
this just
Easy.
You can just put that up there.
There's just, I mean, we could just go on for 30 minutes shit talking how bad the Browns are.
No need.
I don't really want to talk about them.
Yeah.
The Browns are terrible.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. They've been the laughing stock of the NFL for
Yeah.
how long?
You can sign Myles Garrett to a $10 trillion contract. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
They're going to be really bad next year.
Yeah.
If they want to roll with Kenny, if they want to draft Cam Ward, I don't care what happens. I don't care if they get Cam Ward, Travis Hunter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter who they get. This team's going to be terrible.
Yeah. I'm done.
They're
talking
probably
about
gonna-
them.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's it. They suck.
Moving on. Here we go.
Who's this team here?
Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. Here we go.
Easy then. I mean, the song says it. Super Bowl favorites.
Yeah, obviously. We got Mason
Go
Rudolph
ahead and
back.
Put them up there.
Mason Rudolph, the best quarterback in the league. We don't have another quarterback on the roster. We don't need one.
Who got Skylar Thompson?
Yeah. We have Kyle Allen.
No.
No, we don't have Kyle Allen.
Oh, he's gone?
Yeah.
I forgot we had.
It's just Skylar Thompson.
I forgot we had
Mason
Skylar
Rudolph.
Thompson.
I like Kyle Allen from the Bob Does Sports videos.
Yeah.
He was talking about Jersey Jerry sitting on the sidelines, just like, no surprise.
Have you ever seen him throw a football?
No, but I'd love to.
He came in a
he
couple
threw
years
a-
ago for Tua, right?
He came. Who? Kyle Allen or Skylar Thompson?
Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, he came. He was bad. I think. I mean, I think he played like okay.
Threw like one good pass, and everyone's like, okay.
and then he
just-
played in the playoff game for them.
Yeah.
So first thing I want to talk to you guys about, I texted you guys about it the other day. What's up with the TJ Watt Instagram post of the peace sign?
I'm trying to not read into it too much, but like, he doesn't post stuff like that on anything a lot. Like he posts
Never.
stuff, but not like
During
that.
the season.
Yeah.
He almost never posts stuff like that
From-
during the offseason,
what-
especially an ambiguous post where he's, kind of signaling peace out.
Mm-hmm.
Is it peace out to your contract? Like, I don't know.
I
It's
saw
really.
an NFL insider say though that if they were to trade him or we were to trade him, it would be for a 3rd round pick.
Oh, what?
That would be nuts, dude. I would not do that.
God, I don't know what I would do if that happened.
For a
That's
3rd round pick,
terrible
that's just
trade.
this is what? You're getting a first.
Get him for Kendrick Green? Yeah, deal. Let's do
Yeah,
it. That's
right.
insane.
I don't even understand that.
No,
though,
that
for, like, a
reporter should be
first. It's
fired.
like-
That's an insane thing. I'm kind of pissed that he even said that. Like, is that where he thinks his value is?
I guess when you're talking about a dude that's what 31.
I don't
I
care.
I'm not saying I agree with it.
Yeah,
but
I mean the dude is the entire team on our
yeah.
for the Steelers.
Yeah.
It-
I know we mentioned how like Myles Garrett, he's okay. They have him. The Browns do, and it's like big whoop. That team sucks. TJ Watt, we have seen every time he's gotten injured how bad like that defense is.
Yeah.
How big of a game changer TJ is to the defense. So I don't really know what's going on with him. Overall, though, I think the DK signing, I think that's going to be good overall for the offense. We'll see how they implement him and if they actually start to throw the ball a little bit more. I know the Steelers obviously run first. They've always been that way. I don't see anything changing. Plus, Arthur Smith's still there.
Who's running the ball?
Great question.
Yeah. I might be going in there every now and then.
I mean, Jalen's
at this point.
I love Jalen, but he's not a bell comeback.
No,
Dude,
definitely
this
not.
isn't-
They're gonna get somebody.
This is an absolute no-brainer, and I cannot believe it hasn't happened yet. J.K. Dobbins needs.
JK.
The Steelers need to sign J.K. Dobbins immediately. Maybe not immediately, because apparently no team has any interest in him at all. I don't know
don't
why. I
get
thought he
that.
had a great year last year coming
Yeah,
off
1,000 yards last year, right?
Yeah.
multiple serious season-ending injuries. Like, this is not like
And he has the first healthy season, and
first healthy
okay,
season.
that is coming off of a very bad injury.
Stayed
and he
healthy the whole
stayed
season,
healthy
too.
this whole season, and after an injury like that, you're gonna have regression the next year. So this year, if a team signs him, he's gonna have a very good season.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. And I think the Steelers need to go out and get him like
He
immediately.
is like the perfect mold for what the Steelers need
Yeah.
and what they want. I don't know why. I don't know if they're waiting
Especially
to see
because you have Jalen
a good
Warren.
third down back, like a good
Yeah,
change of pace guy.
JK,
yeah.
it's not going to be all you.
No.
Yeah.
We understand the injury
I think
history.
they could get him for like fairly reasonably cheap.
you can get him for
like
you can get him a year for a few mil.
10,
Yeah, you can get him for
I
five.
don't even think-
Five.
Yeah,
Get him for five.
5.
I think. What did he sign for
I
the
don't know
with the
about
Chargers
that.
for? I think that he signed with
Well,
the Chargers for 5.
Derrick Henry gets paid like 10. Derrick Henry's older.
Yeah, how
For
much did Najee get?
Okay,
But
he
that's not much, I don't think.
PFS projecting that he's gonna get 2 years, 7 mil.
So
I mean, that's very reasonable for a team that has a lot of cap space. I don't know. They're just waiting for Aaron Rodgers.
God no.
It's insane that he's not, on our roster right now.
yeah,
I don't know because
with
who
a-
else is out there right now? And are you gonna bank on a good bell cow running back being there in the third, and then wasting a draft pick on him? Because we don't have a second. You're not gonna take one in the first. Maybe you are. Amari in Hampton. I'm seeing Amari in Hampton.
Yeah,
Hampton's a
Off
good
to the
running back,
Steelers,
but I just don't
for
want
a
to do.
first round. You can
Najee
get the
all
same
over again.
talent for $5 million a year.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't really know what they're gonna do at running back. Overall, I personally know exactly what to expect this year out of this team.
10-7.
10-7.
I think-
they're going to be a potential wild card. I don't see anything more than that. I don't see anything less. I haven't seen enough changes for me to be like, oh yeah, they're going to suck this year. No, it's going to be a very average season. We'll see what the schedule's like too. I mean, they're definitely not going to have as hard of a schedule as they did last year. That was the hardest schedule in the entire NFL.
That was crazy.
Yeah, and just like the way that it was formatted.
Oh,
when
that was
when it happened on Christmas
horrible.
against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And it's so
That's just
unfortunate
wrong.
because that's when the season, in my eyes, really took a turn.
Mm-hmm.
You're at home on Christmas. Nobody wants to be there. Everyone wants to be at home with their families. You're against the Chiefs. Okay, like we're already kind of on a downward spiral, and you get the shit beat out of you at home like that. Like I feel
Yeah.
like I literally watched the team give up.
Yeah.
Not just in that game, but on the season. I feel like everyone lost like a pep in their step. I don't know. I mean, just the way that schedule was formatted was terrible. Hopefully this year it's not anything like that.
I still think, it was horrible. That should never be happening. I still expect more of the same this year. It's not going to be anything different. With Tomlin still there, and I'm not like one of those absolute Tomlin haters of.
I am. I'm turning that way.
Oh,
I used to
yeah.
be his
I
biggest
mean-
supporter, I swear.
Yeah, I mean,
And now it's just like I'm sick of it, dude. He like runs the entire organization. It's insane that they let him have that much power.
yeah.
I mean, if you want to
He
run
does.
the defense, you're the head coach. Okay, you're a defensive-minded head coach. You want to run the defense, but like whenever he has so much say in who comes in, who you draft, everything like that, and it happens the way that it's been happening the past 5 years, sick of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want so bad to put them in number 1 pick contention because that would just be sweet. But yeah, they're a
Imagine Arch
potential.
Manning.
They're a potential wild card. I mean, it's going to be the same thing.
Nothing else to it.
10-7.
Chuck him in there.
They'll be the 7th seed guaranteed. They'll play the Chiefs first
Or
round.
40, by the way.
On the road, they'll lose by 35 points.
40.
Oh yeah.
So
We
we're
should
good. I think we can get through these.
Okay.
We can just
Okay.
Pick it up.
All right. Yeah. Next we have the AFC West.
Yeah.
where we'll be starting with the Denver Broncos. This is a pretty interesting division to me. in
Yeah.
my eyes. I said it before on one of the episodes in the past, but I think all 4 teams could be somewhat legit contenders. The Raiders obviously would be the worst. I mean, you had 3 playoff teams coming out of this division last year: Chargers, Chiefs, and Broncos. It seems like every team's trajectory is pointing upward. As far as Denver goes, they had a shocking season in my eyes.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
did not think Bo Nix was going to be anywhere near as good as he was this year. I feel like he fits Sean Payton's offense very well.
I
they
think
have
he
a-
really shocked the world.
I think
like,
he did
this year.
too. Like for real, like that. I don't want to say I was a Bo Nix hater, but like I thought, okay, he'd be a solid like round 2 quarterback that might develop into something good. He came out of the gates,
Yeah.
and just balled out.
Threw him a little bit.
When he
Like,
played the
whenever
Steelers.
he played the Steelers, I thought he sucked.
Yeah, he looked
Like,
pretty
I
bad.
thought he had a bad
Well,
game.
he had like 3 picks, I think. 2
He had,
picks.
he had
Yeah.
one real
He
bad.
threw one in the end zone
And
from
then
like the 10
he
yard line.
picked it up from
yeah.
there for the rest of the year. I
Yeah.
thought he was going to be like Zach Wilson.
Yeah, maybe not
something,
right out of
like-
the gates, but like, yeah.
I think their team, you get him another weapon. Cortland Sutton's good. I mean, they had a good connection, but get him another weapon.
Definitely.
That'll
Yeah,
do
Troy
wonders for him.
Franklin wasn't it. Still isn't.
They missed on that. Yeah.
No, not really with how late they got him.
What was it? What round was it?
He
4th?
won, like the 4th or 5th.
Yeah. Yeah, he fell a lot. But
He was projected like 1st or 2nd before the offseason.
yeah, he had a lot of hype behind him.
Yeah, he did. And
But,
it just didn't pan out.
NFL scouts are right. But they also have a fantastic defense.
Yeah.
Pat Surtain, I think, is the best corner in the league. I think he can lock up anyone. I mean, I've seen him.
He's the best defensive player in the league. Said last year.
Yeah, that's
Deep
true.
boy.
Yeah, he won the award. And I think it was deserved.
Yeah.
I think he could go toe-to-toe with a guy like Jamar Jackson or really anyone in the NFL.
Yeah.
Besides maybe Jettas, but
So what are you thinking? Playoff?
I think
Potential
playoff
wild
I
team.
think they're a
card?
playoff team.
Do you think they're like solidified playoff team?
I
You
think
would
they'll-
put
I
them
think they'll
in
be-
there over Bengals because I could see them being potential wild cards. A
I
couple
think they're
things don't
more-
go their way.
They're a more stable team based off of how good they are on both sides than the Bengals.
Yeah,
Now, the only
true.
problem with that, well, it's not really a problem, but like they're not going to win that division over the Chiefs. So they would be playing for a wild card. But as far as probability of them making the playoffs, I think it's pretty far higher than the Bengals.
I agree.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd have them right there with the Bucks.
Raiders.
I'm going to go potential wild card is what I think. I'd like keep getting Geno Smith, matching him back up with Pete Carroll. That'd
Yeah.
be nice. They are desperately hurting for weapons, though. I mean, Brock Bowers is great.
Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers is good.
Myers.
He's
been
good, but like
solid.
He's not a
for-
1.
he's not a 1.
He's a really,
Get a-
really good 2.
very
they
good
need
two.
a 1.
Yeah.
They also need they don't have any running backs. Sincere McCormick, I think, is their only.
Samir White?
I heard he's on the trade block. Dude, they put him on the trade block, and it's like, who won
would
him?
want him?
Dude, he was supposed to be something last year, and he just did not fit that mold. I
No.
don't know. I still think
Cleft
they're
lip fit
mediocre
that
at
mold,
best.
though.
I like the way they're heading. They signed Geno to a 2-year contract. That was somewhat
Yeah.
recent, I think.
Mm.
Within the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, he got signed after he got traded.
Yeah. I don't see them. I don't see 4 teams making it out of this division. Sorry, I
No.
have them mediocre at best.
Fair.
I have them like probably right behind the Falcons. That's where I see them.
I'd put them above the Falcons because I love Geno Smith.
Okay,
Let's go Mountaineers.
I'll take that.
Kansas City, much to talk about here.
Super Bowl favorites.
Super Bowl favorites.
First ones in that
Um,
category.
I don't think there's much to talk about.
There's 2 teams that I have in my head as Super Bowl favorites, and they're easily 1. As long as they have Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback, they're going to be favorites.
Rashi Wright's coming back.
Yeah, so Marquise Hollywood Brown, too. He was out a lot of the year last year.
He sucks.
He does not suck. Have you seen their wide receiver core? I mean,
What's he gonna do?
put him as a 3.
Xavier Worth. Yeah. Xavier
Put him
Worth
as a
is better
3.
than him.
It's a great 3. He's a
But-
better 3 than most teams have.
Yeah. Overall,
Yeah, Rashi.
Super Bowl favorites. Nothing to talk about there.
Good
you know what the
defense.
Chiefs are. You know
Chris
what they have to
Jones.
offer.
Blah, 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 blah.
Super-
Blah 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 blah. I hate Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, next.
No, I don't. I don't.
I do.
I hate the Chiefs. He's a good person.
No, he's not.
Dude, he took like 55 pay cuts so far. or restructuring of
Good
his
teammate.
contract.
He's a good teammate. Yeah, he
Right.
has. But okay.
All right.
Chargers are a good one to talk about.
Yeah.
Playoff team, I think. They were last year. Don't see any. Well, I don't know, but
Bodied in the playoffs.
they did, and they actually had some big losses because they're obviously not retaining J.K.
When did we start saying that Justin Herbert might be a choker?
I mean,
I think it's.
I was
set.
thinking I was
After
thinking like the
last year,
same
I
thing
think-
right now.
Yeah, because I mean, he
Remember-
had he had 2 picks on the season and 3 in that game. He had more picks in that game than he had the whole season.
Yeah.
Remember
Right.
2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago when they lost to Jacksonville in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we can't
They
talk
were
too
up-
much shit, we also lost to
horrible.
Jacksonville in the playoffs.
Yeah, but they were up
2017.
like 24. They were
Yeah,
up
it was like a shutout
huge.
at half.
Yeah.
And
And then
24
they
nothing.
lost.
Yeah,
I don't-
but I think they're a playoff team. I think they're gonna have a great regular season.
and then
They got a great roster.
bounced
um,
first round probably.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
I
they're
would say
a run
potential
first
like,
team too, by the way, and like they went out and got Naj. I don't really see much from Naj at all. We saw him for his career so far.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
stuck in the mud.
They went and
just gonna
signed
be a
like 3
bruiser and-
Steelers.
I don't know. He stays healthy, so
Yeah, he
not
hasn't
gonna
missed a
compl-
game yet, which is amazing.
that
I mean,
is
I love
insane.
Naj, but I
But
mean, he's a workhorse.
he's
but
nothing special.
he's gonna
at
get you
all.
about 2.9 yards per carry.
Yeah.
Probably. He's definitely probably gonna be on the decline.
Yeah.
He's at that age where I mean, you want to talk about running back age. This is a guy who has gotten so many carries every year.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Eventually, you feel like something's
I think he is going to do better on the Chargers.
probably
I
Gotta be
think
honest
he will
there.
be. I agree. I think he'll be
They have a
alright.
better quarterback that can open up
Still
the run game.
Average-ish, but
I'd say.
he'll do better.
You don't think playoff team?
I think potential wild card.
Yeah. Right
But
below the
remember-
Bengals. Maybe above the Bengals based off of their chances
Yeah.
of making it. But
I'm
I think if
gonna
the,
put
Beng- if the
I'm gonna
Bengals
put
do
the
make it, they have
Steelers
a better
above the
chance of
Bengals,
going
by the way.
Hmm?
I'm putting the Steelers above the Bengals, by the way.
Yeah, they probably have better odds to make it.
New York.
Man, I'm just getting disagreed with.
What?
I'm always a tier 2 high on all these things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm being reserved.
Yeah, I just with the Chargers.
Like, I don't think the
I can't-
Broncos should be up there, but I don't know.
Broncos or
It's too
Chargers.
late.
Who do you have higher?
I'd have the Chargers.
So you would put the Chargers over there. I mean, they were better last year. They were a better record last year.
Greg Roman's pretty solid.
Oh, well, moving on.
Ish.
Getting into where we have the
New York
NFC
Giants.
East, New York Giants.
This one
I'm
would be
gonna-
a layup if they hadn't just signed Russie. Mr. Unlimited.
Unlimited diarrhea.
I don't think this really
Unlimited.
changes much at all
I don't think it does.
for
either.
them at all.
I do. I disagree.
But do you think that bumps them up to mediocre? At
I think it
best?
bumps them up just above the
Yeah.
Saints. Okay.
Oh,
They're gonna
dude,
have a
I
good
don't
pick.
know.
I don't know who they're gonna get. I don't think they're gonna go quarterback. To be honest.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Like-
thought they were gonna trade up to take Cam Ward for sure, but
Yeah.
after giving, I
didn't
mean,
happen.
it's a pretty friendly contract with Russ.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's 14 guaranteed up to 21 or something like
Something
that.
like
I think that Russ to Malik Neighbors.
Moonball.
Like, I think that is
The
gonna be a
moon
pretty
ball would have
solid
sounded
combo.
better to
Yeah, dude.
Russ to DK
mean-
or George Pickens.
True, true.
Agreed. I mean, I think Neighbors is gonna have an awesome year.
Yeah.
But
It's definitely
that's
gonna
all
be
they
better
have,
than
man.
Danny
Like Tyrone
Dimes.
Tracy is a wide receiver converted to running back.
Yeah,
Like,
he's.
they have a
yeah.
high draft
He-
pick,
he
so
had
they're
a
gonna have to
solid year,
draft
but-
like a probably I don't know a really good defensive player, and like they're just in a full
I mean,
rebuild.
they have some good guys on defense as far as their defensive line goes. They got
Dexter
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Kayvon Thibodeau, or however you pronounce
Yeah.
it.
Thibodeau.
He hasn't been as.
I just
Probably-
kind of hate that guy.
Yeah,
but
he is-
he is kind of a stud.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was drafted pretty high.
Top
and-
5.
Yeah.
I think he was like 4 or something. Yeah.
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 But
I
like,
don't-
do you
I don't
guys
see
really
anything.
see in that playing in that division too? I mean, that division's tough.
Yeah.
NFC
They're not
East,
gonna be.
Yeah, you
They're
got
probably
six,
gonna
you got
lose the
6 games
Commanders
against.
twice. Gonna lose to the Dallas probably at least once.
I'll tell you their problem is that management. We saw it in
Hard Knocks.
last
oh
year.
my God, are they cheap?
I mean, that's the worst management I've ever seen in my life.
We can't possibly let Saquon go to the Eagles. And they
Yeah.
give him some bullshit offer, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to the Eagles
Yeah.
now and just win a Super Bowl, like for like $1 million more than what you offered me."
Yeah. I mean, that team, their management is horrible. They need to fire everybody in it.
They're
and
right
they
there
can
with the
start to turn
Jets.
things around.
It's New York at the bottom. Sorry.
Tim, you
Yeah.
think mediocre at best?
I mean, I think Rusty's gonna elevate that team a little bit. I'd have them like above. It's okay.
I think they're the
I'm-
best team.
I'm putting them at the bottom. Who cares? We're cherry picking for
They're
the
the
worst
top
team.
of the bottom.
They're horrible.
They're the
horrible.
best bottom team.
Okay.
Okay.
Eagles, I don't think need much discussion.
Super Bowl
much
favorites.
like the Chiefs, Super Bowl favorites, that they easily could run that back.
Yeah, I mean they did a really good job. Their GM's insane. What's his name?
Mhm.
Howie Gorman. I mean they retained so much talent on like somewhat team friendly deals.
Yeah.
Zach Braun, I think, was
Well,
one that
dude,
they
they-
thought they were gonna lose.
Well, they signed him cheap last year, and he turned out to be an All-Pro.
Well,
He
right.
was-
But, and then like I feel like everyone thought for sure he's gonna go sign a massive contract somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles can't afford him, and they bring him back.
Yeah.
I mean, they get rid of a guy like Darius Slay, but they already have two up and coming corners
Mhm.
that were starting in the Super Bowl. Like, they're in such good shape. I think they're my number one team. I think they have the best roster.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, coach wise, they're not as good as the Chiefs. They don't have Patrick Mahomes, but I think everywhere else they are easily the best team.
Agreed.
Would not be surprised at all if they just run through the regular season, make
Yeah.
another Super Bowl.
It's weird saying this too because like there was a point last year where people were talking about the Eagles and not being that good.
Remember the collapse 2
Yeah.
years ago?
Well,
Yeah.
'cause the year prior, I mean,
They lost both coordinators.
Oh,
and just
yeah.
totally fell apart.
Yeah, last year. I mean, just got to keep that buzz cut. That'll be
Um,
good.
these-
Sirianni's still a douchebag though.
Yeah, he is.
The Cowboys, that's another interesting one here. I don't know. When Dak is
Same.
healthy, they're always great in the regular season.
Yeah.
Always fall apart in the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know where I would put. I want to say playoff team, but they play in a pretty now all of a sudden tough division.
Yeah.
Mhm. I'm gonna say potential wild card.
I think.
That's where I
that's
put
yeah.
them too.
pretty easy one. Solid. We'll see if they draft a running back. because
Yeah,
everyone
not
thought
much has
Gentry was
changed with
gonna
that
go
team.
there.
I mean,
Like, yeah.
they never change anything.
No. So, yeah, potential wild card. Doesn't matter really where we put them.
Yeah.
Put them like,
That row is kind of just
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
average.
Washington. Wow, man, Daniel showed a lot last year. He is one of the premier backs in the league.
Yeah.
Okay. It was his first year, but I think he showed enough to be like he
Oh,
will
yeah.
be for a long time.
Would you
moving
put him?
forward.
Would you put him? Top 5 might be a reach.
No, I'd put him like top 7.
But I was gonna say top
Yeah,
7.
I think he's like right around like 6,
Yeah.
7.
I mean, fantasy wise, he was 5th.
Yeah. I mean this
Fantasy though.
he's just
But-
such a cool customer too.
Yeah, no moment ever seems too big for him.
Right. That's what
Yeah.
I mean. And that's what you need.
I remember texting
elevate you
my
to that
brother
next level.
watching. I don't know which game. It might have been actually the first drive of the NFC Championship game, and he was just dealing for a second. It's like,
Oh yeah.
dude, he
Mhm.
looks like he's been playing for 10 years.
Yeah.
Dude,
Like,
he gives that team a chance in every single game, no matter how out of reach it seems.
Mhm.
That dude can just come in, throw a dime to Terry, down
Yeah.
the sidelines, put them right back in. He can run with his legs. I mean,
Yeah, and now they went out and got Debo, and everyone talks about how Debo
Yep.
very downhill
Yep.
on his career right now. I think he's going to be a great addition to that offense. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be able to dump it off to him and just say, go do what you do with the
Right.
ball. I think he's going to be a good addition to that offense. The one thing with Daniels that we didn't see last year, I never wish this on anybody. He has injury problems.
yeah,
he's bad. He's
be-
bad
just
at getting to
because of
safety.
his size. Yeah,
He takes on hits he doesn't need to take.
Yes. So we didn't see any of that. I hope we continue to see that.
Yeah,
Hopefully
it'd
he
be a
doesn't get
shame
hurt.
if he
but
got hurt, man. He's so
if he gets
fun to
hurt, that
watch.
team is trash.
Yeah,
Instantly
100%.
horrible again.
Also, they went out
but-
and got Laramie Tunsil. Am I right about
that's
that?
a big one.
Fact
Oh,
check.
really?
I don't know why the Texans traded him, but they did, and
Dang,
so they
that
got
was a good
Debo
sign.
and Laramie Tunsil. They retained
Nice.
Zach Ertz, which I think was awesome last year
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
his development, for Daniel's development, and they retained guys like Bobby Wagner.
They have Lattimore still too, I think.
Yeah, they do have Lattimore. I think they should put a couple draft picks into their defense because I think their offense is very well off. I can
I'm gonna
maybe
put
see
him-
him taking a running back.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna put them top of playoff teams.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
right
agree
there
with
with
that,
you. I don't
100%.
think they're
I
Super
think-
Bowl contenders yet. Although they were one game away last year, I still think there's a lot of teams that would be ahead of them in the NFC. So next division.
The Rams in the NFC West. I love the Rams.
This division's always so much fun.
Yes,
It is. It is.
Matt Stafford, guys, have done it. Won Super Bowl. I don't want to put them in Super Bowl contenders, but I almost want to have them competing for that top spot playoff teams.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
Dude, they gave the
completely.
Eagles the toughest game in the playoffs last
Yeah.
year.
Mhm.
By far.
So close
Eagles
to
just
winning
steamrolled
that game.
everybody. They had them at home in the snow game.
yeah, I think the pairing of Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay, that gets you a
And
chance
you
at
throw in
any
Devontae
game.
Adams now
Yep,
too.
yep.
That's insane.
I mean, that is
insane.
such a good fit.
Kyron Williams is
Puka,
going to score a
man.
couple.
Puka.
He scores a ton.
Kyron
Kyron
Williams
Williams,
is
yeah.
still there.
They have they got two really good
Jared first.
Jared Verse and then Braden Fisk.
Stud.
They're awesome
Yeah.
Yeah.
on that defensive line.
Their O line's good.
Their O-line's
Good
good.
enough.
Secondary, I don't know too much about their secondary. I think they're older. 'Cause I
Well,
think
they
they
have
got
Ramsey, right?
no,
No.
Ramsey's in Miami.
That's
Um,
right. Yeah.
Did they get Tre'Davious White or whatever his name is
That is his name. I'm not
from Buffalo?
entirely
I want to
sure.
say he was there last year. They had a Keller Witherspoon, I think, 2 years ago too.
Yeah, they did.
He actually
He
played
started
pretty well.
like, the
Yeah.
whole season. Yeah. I don't know. They're such a well coached team that I
Mhm.
feel like you give them a little bit of talent, and you give them like a winning quarterback, they can win any year. I mean, I really think that.
Yeah,
And
I think they got
just
a good-
juiced up.
Good roster.
Yeah.
I'm
Some
gonna,
of
put 'em- I'm gonna put them above Washington.
Yeah, I'm right there. Playoff teams, top of the list. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if they made the Super Bowl. I mean, I'd be a little bit surprised, but like, this is a team that can definitely do it.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford's done it before.
Agreed.
I think it was surprising the first time they did it, but
No, San Fran.
this is a weird one.
They're-
There is a weird one because what are they going to do with Purdy? I mean, contract talks I think have started.
They got rid of so many
Yeah,
players. So many
but, like,
players.
They haven't. Now that is a team, and we've seen it previously with Debo and Ayuk. They wait right up until that season starts before they get a contract like fully closed and ready to go. I think they're gonna get something done.
Yeah.
They're not gonna let Purdy go somewhere.
What? How
Otherwise,
much
that
money
would
do
happen.
Purdy gets? So Dak's the highest paid, right?
At
60 million a
least
year.
40. At
Dude, he
least.
has to be in the 50s.
He might be
Yeah.
pushing 50.
I think somewhere around there.
They clearly
He's exactly
Cleared
what
up
that
some
team
room for him.
needs.
Yeah.
But they lost Debo. Who cares?
Yeah.
Really, he wasn't doing anything for them last year. Ayuk's gonna be coming back. Pearsall started to show.
Christian McCaffrey, I imagine. will
Yeah,
be back.
CMC's back.
yeah,
I heard
uh,
very
he's
good
healthy
things about
now.
him. He's
Yeah.
like 100%. And Ricky
that
Pearsall
defense
shows
is
some
always solid.
flashes. Like
Jawan Jennings.
Juwan Jennings. There's a reason they signed Jennings and they drafted Pearsall. It doesn't
Yeah.
look so
Mhm.
insane right now because they have that wide receiver core and Kittle and CMC coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And IU coming back.
And IU coming back, and Debo can just walk. Like they're
Yeah.
happy with
Yeah.
letting him walk. I don't think they were upset about that at all. You know,
I'm gonna go. I think they're in playoff teams.
I think they're a good playoff team too. I think they're above Tampa.
Yeah,
yeah, I put them
Yeah,
right in
I'd
between
agree.
Tampa and the Commanders. That'd be a pretty good game, I think, in the playoffs.
Arizona Cardinals. We talked about it
Uh,
before we started filming. They suck. I think.
They don't know what they're doing. I don't think they have any plan at all. I mean, that you go and get a guy like Marv, and then you just don't really
Throw
have
him
a
the ball.
game plan for him.
Who drove here today? Who took the bus here today? You got that fire in your gut?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That coach is
God.
that coach is total dweeb. I don't know. Like
Yeah. I don't.
I just
There's
I'd be
nothing-
so upset if I
Who
was a
took the
Cardinals
bus?
fan.
Literally none of us. We're all millionaires.
I got my Maserati. Maserati Marv is sitting there like, what's a bus?
Yeah.
Dude, I think. I mean, look, they were 8-9 last year, but I
That's
honestly
surprising.
want to say that they are in number one. Pick
I was thinking
contention.
the same thing.
Like, I just don't.
Where did
think
they
they're
improve?
Good.
Where did they improve?
They didn't.
Nowhere. Did they have any signings in free agency?
Nothing I know of.
I mean, nothing big enough that it's worthy of talking about on this
Like
podcast.
Buda
so-
Baker is like the only player on that team that I feel like he must hate playing there.
James
he plays,
Conner.
Yeah, JC. They signed him. Yeah, that's right. 2-year contract. I mean, him and Buda are like the
But
two.
I really
But
think
players
it's
who
it
actually-
comes down to a coaching problem on that team. I
They
think
need
they
to
have
discipline
weapons
some
on both
players.
sides. Why do you say that?
I just think that, Kyler,
Oh,
to speak. First
yeah. He
off,
plays
like,
one too many video games. That's for sure.
maybe not discipline necessarily, but they need to discipline Kyler. Like, I just don't think he really cares that much. And I feel like the whole team shows, like, I think they could be good. He could be better. At least their offense could be good. I thought James Conner had an awesome year last year.
He did.
Like, he stayed healthy the entire year. I think maybe game 18 he got hurt. But, like, we know James Conner. He gets hurt a lot.
Hopefully, Kyler stays healthy.
Yeah.
Too, because he gets hurt a lot.
I expected a lot more last year.
Oh,
from him.
yeah. You know, I was
add-
very high on him.
Yeah, you add Marv to the offense. Now you're another year removed from the injury.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that he was cutting a lot better during the offseason. He looked fast. Like, I expected. I mean, honestly, I was thinking like potential MVP prior to the season. Like, I thought he was going to be QB1. I thought he was going to have an awesome season, but it was complete
Can't
opposite.
lie.
Like,
I
their team.
thought something similar.
Yeah.
I think they're going to. Maserati Marv is going to take a step up this year, but, like, that's one person. That's not the entire team. They're
Right.
not going to get wins because one person steps up there and elevates their game.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to get that connection down more, for sure.
Marv's going to be
like-
a good player.
Yeah.
They keep missing like back
100%.
shoulder passes. They're just the chemistry's not there.
Yeah.
Between Kyler and
Defensively
Marv.
wise, I mean, yeah. You got Buda Baker.
That's about it.
Nothing really notable
No.
else.
They're not a
I
playoff
think
team.
they need some.
They're
Yeah,
just
they need
not.
some
I
coach
mean,
out.
I mean, I don't think they're
Coaching
actually number
changes.
one pick contention. I would put.
I
them
think they're
mediocre,
just above
but-
the
They're
Saints. Like
Yeah.
they pretty much just are the Saints.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna put them above the Raiders.
I'm not
Above
putting
the
them
Falcons. Above
No,
the
I
Falcons.
don't know.
You guys really love Michael Penix, don't you?
I just really hate the Cardinals. I just think
I think this. Yeah, I think
their division's
I
a
think
lot
the
tougher
Falcons are
too.
just a better team.
The tiebreaker for me would be that their
Okay.
division's a lot. The NFC South is a lot
You
worse.
guys
Than,
really think Penix is good? We
It
saw
doesn't
like
come down to
3
this
games.
Penix, though.
yeah, it's not just Penix.
We saw like 3 games at him.
Drake London, Darnell Mooney.
Kyle Pitts.
They have Bijan.
Got Kyle Pitts, dude.
Okay, come on, Joe.
All
All
right.
right.
It's a
Moving on to Seahawks.
Cooper Cup.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp makes them a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, easy
I
Super
don't
Bowl
really know.
favorite.
They're weird. They're a weird team that I don't really know what to say about them. I think their team's
Yeah.
pretty average.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Sam
about all I can think.
Darnold,
Is
I
just
mean,
average.
He
Like
was good on the Vikings because of O'Connell.
and Jetta's
Really, like, yeah, and Jetta's,
good weapons.
Addison,
Not-
Hawkinson.
now you take away the best vertical threat on your team
Yeah,
and you add another slot receiver. So are we just throwing stuff 5 yards over the middle?
yeah.
Like
so
I,
JSN and Cooper Cup, very good slot merchants.
yeah, yeah.
And
Is
What
that what
else do
they
we have?
want Sam Darnold to do? That's. I mean, they have like Jake Bobo.
I
They
guess,
have
yeah,
I mean, they, like
Jake Bobo.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, they got a good running back.
two
room.
good running backs.
Yeah.
They do have a good running back totem. Like I think
I wish I
I-
could speak more on their defense too. Like,
I don't know much about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I need
Richard
We need to
Sherman's
pick
their-
up our
their cornerback
defensive
one.
knowledge for sure.
They got Richard Sherman. Pete Carroll's still there? No. Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
It's
whenever I
just
think
like-
about Seattle, I think like
That was
there's
a weird move to go out and get Cooper Cup.
Like,
It was. That's like not the guy that I would expect them to go and get.
it almost felt desperate in a way. Like we need another receiver.
Yeah, we just
Well, why do we get rid of our receiver that we had?
yeah.
Like you saw, I understand the Steelers signed
They
DK to
yeah,
a pretty extensive big contract.
Mhm.
I think it's like it's top 5
It's top 5
total
in the league.
contract as a receiver, which maybe they just didn't want to. But
We mentioned this before. I
just don't
think that
get-
was the second like episode. It's like I still don't know exactly what they're doing.
no,
No.
I
Yeah,
don't know where.
we asked the question. If you're a Seattle fan, what are you thinking right
Yeah,
now?
Yeah.
What's do you think you're in a
I'm-
rebuild?
I'm like kind of scared. If I'm a Seattle
For
fan.
sure.
I'm like,
Yeah.
What's their draft gonna look like? I would make an I don't know category just for this team. 'Cause I really don't. I mean, I think they're top of mediocre, bottom of potential wild card.
Yeah.
but probably more
I'd
leaning
say
towards
top-
top of mediocre.
Yeah, I'm going to put them top of mediocre.
Maybe even like behind the Patriots. I mean, somewhere in that general
Yeah.
category.
All right. Houston.
We got the worst division in all of football.
Yeah.
The most boring, that's for sure.
Yeah.
None of these teams are. Well,
Well,
I
I
don't
think
say
the
none of the teams
Ja-
are terrible.
yeah.
Tennessee's terrible.
So the Colts are pretty bad too.
So is Jacksonville.
Although they just find a way to beat the Steelers every year.
Yeah.
They're our kryptonite. Doesn't matter if it's Flacco, Richardson, or fucking Gardner Minshew.
Dude,
Home or away, it does not
don't-
matter.
Don't. It still stings.
I know.
we went to spent a lot of money. Went to Indianapolis. Had a great time. 2 years ago to watch that
Mhm.
Steeler game. Watch Gardner Minshew just dice up our defense.
It was also us choosing to start Mitch Trubisky over Mason Rudolph. But they let Mason in to take 2.
The thing that was
knees
even
at
more
the
annoying
end.
about it is the Indianapolis fans just honestly didn't even care.
No,
Like,
no, not at all.
we were kind of trying to talk shit during the game when
Yeah.
it started off hot for us. But yeah, they're like, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like Canadians.
We
They
know we're
just
not gonna
don't-
win.
They're just
Like-
nice and don't care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're like, if you guys win,
I hope
cool.
you guys win. At least you can win a playoff game.
At the
No, we
bar after
can't.
I said something, so the one guy, you guys, I was like, we still have 6 or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
he's like, okay.
Good for you guys.
I was like, all right, well,
All right, let's go ahead and place them then. Let's go ahead and place the Colts.
Colts?
all right.
Mediocre at best.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're
I
bottom of
think
that list for
bottom of
me.
mediocre
hey,
at best.
yeah. They
Behind Carolina.
Richardson.
Sucks.
He's
Well, I honestly think that Daniel Jones is going to win that position.
I do too, and I think that makes them a little bit better.
I think
Um,
it does too. Their defense, I love Kenny Moore Jr.
yeah.
I think
Rodney
he's one-
Thomas.
Rodney Thomas, yeah. They just
We're-
don't have it.
Sorry,
I think
I don't know why I was pointing up to the sky like he died or something.
Yeah, we just
He
Just
he
grew up
plays
with
for
him.
the Colts.
he's
just,
still alive.
we just
and
grew
well.
up with him.
Very successful, good football player. Yeah, not much
Yeah.
more to be said about the Colts.
no.
Texans are
Texans
They-
back
they're
to
more
that
the
game against
same.
the Chargers in the playoffs. That shocked me. They came ready to play.
I like him, dude. I still like CJ. He didn't.
I think
he
CJ had a
little
big
bit of
sophomore slump, but
he
I think
did.
he'll
Yeah,
be
and
back.
everyone talked about that before last year. Like,
Yeah.
might have a sophomore slump.
Yeah,
And
he
it's-
did a
did.
big step
And
up.
it begs
everyone's
the
like,
question with
oh, he
Jaden
sucks.
Daniels too. It's like, well, you never. That happens. I
Yeah.
mean, but
Them losing Diggs didn't matter, or doesn't matter at all for
Dude,
their
he lost his
offense.
best friend and deep threat target. Like, he's obviously very emotional
yeah,
about
but dude,
that.
they got Nico Collins top 5,
Yeah.
maybe.
Well, he
Maybe
was
not
hurt
top
too
5,
during the
but-
season.
They have a
wasn't
solid
he?
defense.
He missed some games. I like them. I mean, I think they're easily going to win that division. I think they're a playoff team. Maybe on the backside of that, but
I just like to look.
I don't
what-
think
what-
there's any way
what we
they
touched
don't win
on
that division.
Is how they looked in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I thought they looked good. They
They
gave
look
the
good.
Chiefs
Yeah.
a really
Who
good
ca-
game too.
Like
They
who
did.
cares
Really
about
good
this? Who
game.
cares about the regular season sophomore slump? CJ got him to the playoffs.
Yep. And he
And
won a
then he
game.
won
and
won
he
him a game.
almost beat the Chiefs.
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you're right. That showed a lot. for,
Playoff
Stroud.
team.
I'm putting them above like
Washington.
I put them
Nah,
right behind Washington.
I'm putting him right behind Washington.
ahead of San Fran by a large margin, but right behind.
All right.
Commanders.
Titans.
Just recency bias.
Number
Put 'em-
one pick contention.
Yep.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
Probably the top of that list. I don't know.
So,
or the
like, they're-
bottom. It doesn't matter. They're trash.
I'm throwing them behind Cleveland.
Okay.
That team sucks.
I won't go that far.
They are horrible.
You think Cam Ward changes that team much?
No.
No.
I'm excited to watch Cam Ward though.
I am too.
But I don't see it changing. Well, who's Cam Ward? Who is his weapons? Calvin Ridley?
Wow. Tony Pollard?
Yeah.
True. That's not,
I mean, we
It's not
know we
much.
know a handful of guys on that team because they suck.
Oh, they have Nick Westbrook-Akine.
Oh, I
Dude, he
forgot
was
about
popping
him.
He
I
off.
has
forgot
like a
about him.
30%
Yeah,
touchdown
yeah.
completion or touchdown reception ratio.
Tajay
True.
Spears.
Tajay?
Yeah.
Is Tony
He
Pollard
doesn't
even still
have
there?
ACLs. Yeah, Pollard's still on the Titans.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't have ACL, so he can't tear him.
No.
Why doesn't everybody just get rid of their ACL?
I know.
If
What
it
are
can
they thinking?
happen,
Like, if you can still play as a running back in the NFL, like, without ACLs, yeah, why would you?
dude, I'm
I'd
worried
get
about tearing my ACL playing flag
MCLs.
football in front of me. I'm gonna get rid of my ACL.
Get rid of them Johnson's birth.
I don't think insurance will cover an elective surgery that is to remove your ACLs.
I'm an organ donor.
Only
Sir,
one
that's
way to
not an
find out.
organ, and you're not dead.
Yeah. You could give them to a real athlete.
Jaguars, I think, are low key interesting.
Me too.
I don't.
I just think
Who the heck? Wait, whoa. Who they hire as head coach?
Duval.
Yeah.
The guy for the OC for what's his name? OC for Tampa.
Oh,
Remember that big debacle where he was gonna go there and then he didn't like the GM there. What's his name, Dick? Do you know his name?
What?
Something.
Jacksonville's?
Yeah, their
Gee.
head coach.
Or are you talking about their owner?
No, just their head coach.
Oh, I forget his name. I just know
Liam
Cohen.
Cohen. Yeah, he's from Tampa, OC.
If your name's Liam, you can't say Duval like that, dude.
Yeah,
It
dude,
just
he
doesn't
does this like
mix.
weird thing
No.
with his eyebrows too. It was super weird. You didn't see that?
no,
Yeah, if
no.
you haven't seen that at home, watch it. Look
Yeah.
up his his first interview as the head coach of Jacksonville.
If you want to cringe,
Super cringe, yeah.
Oh God, not
Yeah, dude.
another one.
It's bad.
Yeah,
But he's a really good OC. I love that hire for them, and he was going to stay at Tampa. Had a lot of success there, but I guess there was some kind of discussion about the GM. He didn't like the GM that was there, and then he was going to go back. He was like literally 30 minutes away from signing a contract for the OC to make him the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL for Tampa, and then the Jaguars fired their GM, and then he went there, had some kind of like secretive interview, and then it was a whole.
See, I don't
debacle,
really
but
keep up with Jacksonville like that because they suck.
I think,
but
but I think he's the best hire they could have had.
that's
Like
definitely
if the
yeah,
Steelers
that's a good
landed
hire for
him,
them.
that would have been so hype. And I think T-Law coming back, I think he's gonna be healthy next year to start the year. Brian Thomas Jr.
I still
is
think
a
T-Law
savage.
has a lot to offer.
I think
yeah,
it is too. Dude,
my
he has had
biggest
such
question
a
about T-Law though is with how.
When's he getting that haircut?
Yes, that is a big one. But
Sorry. Had to.
he'd win a Super Bowl if he buzzed it.
Facts.
with how, when he came out of college,
High
generational,
prospect.
which
Yeah.
is
Peyton
like
Manning.
a word they use.
No,
a
they were
little-
saying since
a little
Peyton
too
Manning,
little
like,
too much now though. But everybody's generational. You know what I mean? They say all these guys.
he
are like,
was the
"Oh,
highest graded quarterback since Peyton Manning. Like that
Would you
type
consider him a bust
of
already?
No.
But
No.
I'm just saying in relation.
I think
to,
his team has failed him more than anything else.
Yeah, they
Agreed.
have.
Agreed.
I think when he has had the chance to go win games, like I think you saw in the
Well,
playoff
I
game,
guess we
like
talked
he's
about-
won a playoff game.
Whenever we talked, remember that rumor for like a day that the Steelers were calling Jacksonville to trade for T-Law?
was
I also
hilarious.
was like, I'm on board with that.
Dude, I would have
Yeah.
signed. I still think he's easily top 15.
His
and I think-
contract is gross.
Yeah.
It's
For
just-
for what he's done so far, he didn't deserve that contract.
He
Dude,
went into
but in today's NFL, it's like you would probably pay him that much just to make sure that you have at least a mediocre. Like it's
Above average.
above average
He's above
quarterback,
average.
like-
I think he's gonna
so would
pick it up a little bit. I think the team overall will pick it up this year. I'd say, considering their division, potential wild card.
dude. I'm telling you, I don't think they'll win that division. I think they can win a playoff game pretty easily. No, not pretty easily. I think they can win a playoff game, like without an insane upset.
Nice.
I think they're
Yeah.
potential wild cards, and I think they're just below. They're probably bottom of that list.
Yeah,
I think the Bengals are a lot
yeah.
better than them,
I'd agree.
even with
The
that
interesting
crappy defense. But like, I think if they drafted like Ted or something, and then like kind of started incorporating ETN again, because we know how good ETN can be,
Yeah.
but he just kind of like evaporated last year.
Hank Bigsby though.
Hank,
Is
yeah,
this
I mean
the
they have
last
two good
year
running
of
backs.
ETN?
It
thought
should.
was
I think
like-
it will
Yeah,
be as
yeah,
far
because
as
he was first rounder.
I think he sucks.
So this is his 5th year, I think.
he runs so weird.
This is his 4th year.
Yeah, he's
He runs
an
like
idiot.
Dimitri, but he's like not slow. Like,
Yeah,
Oh my god.
but he's nuts.
the interesting thing about our list though is we only have 2 AFC teams and playoff teams.
That's fine.
Two what? AFC teams?
Yeah, we only have.
Yeah. We have 3 Super Bowl. AFC's
Yeah.
weird.
The math might not add up, but whatever.
Yeah.
This is more just
These
a
aren't
generic
like one,
ranking.
yeah. Think of it like S through
The full NFL.
S, A, B, C, D, F. S through S.
Okay. On to what I think is the best division in all of football, the NFC North.
I think it's easily the best division
Yeah.
in all of football.
The worst team last year was the Bears.
Besides the AFC North.
We'll get to them. Yeah, sure.
We did.
Yeah, the AFC
We-
North is pretty good.
Love the AFC North.
But the Browns exist. So the Vikings. Vikings are interesting. They still have a lot of talent, obviously, everywhere. They still have Kevin O'Connell. They just have a change at the most important position. They went from Sam Darnold to J.J. McCarthy. I don't think it really matters.
I agree.
I think KOC is
Yeah.
so good. I think JJ got to sit behind quarterback this year and got to see the whole system, learn the playbook. Like, I feel like him getting injured might have been the best thing possible for him.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big JJ supporter. I don't
No,
think he did all too much.
I
in
know you of all
college.
people,
Yeah.
because he went to Michigan.
Yeah.
Big Ohio State fan.
Yeah, which means I also got to watch a lot of him. And now that, Ohio State won the national championship last year, I'm past that whole thing. But I can kind of
Rivalry
look
doesn't
at
even
it.
exist anymore.
I can kind of look at it from an outside view and kind of see. I don't really think he needs to be like a really good quarterback to have success and kind of. You saw. I mean, what were they? 14-3 last
They
year.
were
They lost
14-3.
14. They lost the Lions when they needed it.
I think they lost the
But,
Lions
like, man,
twice,
like,
right?
If
No.
JJ is just somewhat decent, I think that team's gonna be just as good as they were last year. Maybe
Yeah.
not like win percentage necessarily, but I think they're easily gonna make the playoffs.
I'd agree.
We're gonna have to see how JJ is. I know
They got
he won at the
smoked.
collegiate level.
By the Rams.
Yeah, I think that was on Darnold, which is probably one of the main reasons why they were okay with moving on
Well-
from him. But I think JJ, I think he's more of a winner than Darnold. And
Well, I guess
think-
my question then, and it's pretty much agreeing with your point exactly, was last year the thought process, JJ's going to be the starter? I don't know.
I don't know. We've had a lot of these. Our friend Ben, he's a big Vikings fan. I mean, like none of us really knew. Like, where
Yeah.
would you? Well, if you were in that position, where
Because
would
in the
you go? He went
preseason, because he
14
got
and
hurt,
3.
in the preseason
Yeah,
game.
yeah. He played I think he had
He played really well. Like he was
exhibition
man,
game?
He was throwing the ball around
He looked
well.
really
like, I was like,
good.
dang, this
Mhm.
dude might be legit.
good like reports from training camp and everything. So, yeah, I would
Playoff team.
Yes.
playoff team.
Above,
I would.
above Tampa.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
The Bears.
Well, I think
What'd that taste like?
Beer, ice, frozen beer.
I think the NFC North was it. There was a couple years ago where the AFC North didn't they took all 4 teams, right?
AFC North.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the year the Browns beat the Steelers.
Yeah.
With Baker and Baltimore made it, and I think Cincy made it that year.
Yeah, that might have been the year.
I
That
could
was
see it.
2021.
Yeah, because now there's 3 wild cards,
right.
so it's possible.
This division to me seems like it could take all 4 teams.
I think the Bears would be the only team that would ever really be at threat of
Yeah,
not making
I agree.
playoffs. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think the other 3 teams.
We'll see what Ben Johnson does that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big addition. Ben Johnson. Caleb Williams, year 2.
Year 2.
I think he was trying to do a little bit too much. Like, maybe now that he's more comfortable, in that it's a new system, obviously, but like maybe they can kind of rely more on the run game. I don't know what Ben Johnson, he's got an awesome playbook. Like, he's one of the Lions were the most fun team to watch last year. And I think Caleb kind of fits that mold.
Yeah. I'll tell you what,
very
that
well.
city isn't very high on that team, though. I was there.
Really?
And, yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, I went to a couple of shops while I was on that trip. And, yeah, all their stuff, all the Bears stuff on sale.
Wow.
Yeah, they hate him. They hate him
That's crazy.
for a good reason. They
They've-
kind of sucked
yeah,
last year. I
they've-
think they're going to take a step up. I do. I think Ben Johnson is going to elevate that team all around. Hopefully fix up that defense. We all know the infamous Hail Mary last year.
Or
that
Buddy was
was-
looking in the crowd.
Dude, that like
Yeah,
destroyed the
Talking
season.
trash.
Yeah, that was like a turning point.
That's like
I mean,
cut-worthy.
it's not like it started off really hot for them.
No, they
But,
had.
like,
They
that-
also
they
had
just
that
went-
game against the Lions. We talked about this before.
Uh-huh.
Thanksgiving timeout
Oh my-
debacle. Like, their
Oh,
coaching
that
staff
was
was so
insane.
bad
So
last
bad,
year.
so
There's
bad.
no way that they were going to be worse.
It can't get worse.
It
I
cannot
think
get
it's
worse.
gonna get better. I
I-
think they're.
I think they're a 10-win team.
I could see it.
I could see
I
that.
think they're-
I'm gonna go potential wild card.
agree.
Bears.
But I think they're up there in potential wild cards.
I
don't
think
you?
they could be as high, like above the Cowboys, but they could also be as low as behind the Bengals.
I'm gonna go
I
like
mean-
above Jacksonville.
I like it.
It's not like they've proven anything in the
Realistically,
past.
that's probably
forever.
where I would put them, but I would not be surprised
I think they're
if
gonna
they end up
turn
winning
around.
10, 11 games.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
think they're heading in the right direction. So
Moving
Green
on
Bay.
to Green Bay, I also think there's not a whole ton to talk about with Green Bay. Another team
No.
that stayed pretty stagnant to what they were last year,
yeah,
and I think they will be. They're a good team. They're tough to beat.
I think last year they had
Jordan
some
Love
struggles.
is, I think, a legit quarterback. I think that dude's
Mm-hmm.
good. I think they could use a true wide receiver one in
Yeah.
like the worst way
They're missing
because
one.
their core is good, but it's just a bunch of like twos and
Twos.
threes that just like every now and then one will pop off and this one will pop off and this one will pop off. But
And
it isn't a bad problem to have. But if you had one that was consistently going off, and
Yeah.
then you still had him paired with those other guys,
Yeah, like if they had like a Devontae Adams, like they did with Rodgers.
that would be a good fit for that team.
I know.
imagine seeing Devontae Adams in a Green
Dude, I
Bay
could just-
Packers
Oh my
jersey.
gosh,
just
that would be
visualize
nuts.
it, dude. He looks like he belongs in one.
Dang.
Um,
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Jacobs was a big move for them last year, though.
Yeah, he had a very good season.
Dude, I think Matthew Golden would be a good fit there. I think they need like an X receiver, just
Mhm.
someone that can
I thought Jaden Reed
Stretch
was
the
going to
field.
be like their
mean,
one
he
going
popped
into
off
last year.
early,
Yeah,
yeah.
first couple of games
against the Eagles. He
was-
went crazy.
Oh, he went nuts. Maybe it was just because he was in Brazil. I don't really know what it was.
Probably
but,
because
like-
the Eagles defenders couldn't keep traction on that field.
Oh yeah.
Whenever the field isn't perfect, the Eagles just tend to like not be able to like stand on their feet.
true.
That might have been important. And plus, they had I don't know if they started 2 rookies corners in that game or if Slade played at all. But yeah, I mean he went off.
It's kind of like, my brother and I, David, were talking about this. Have you ever watched the Pakistan National Hockey League?
Of course.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of dudes that suck at hockey, but like they can't skate. So it's kind of like what the Eagles are like whenever they play out of bounds. They just can't fly.
That's good. Potential wild card, top of the list is where I'd put them.
I would put them as a playoff team.
Playoff team.
I'd agree.
I think like lower end of
Yeah.
playoff team, but
I was just trying to even out these two.
Like
rows.
I think they're better than the Bronx.
They're better than the Bucks.
yeah, I think that's
Right there.
Yeah.
Then the Lions.
another way up.
This could be one
Now-
or the other.
I think they're a Super Bowl favorite.
I'm going favorite too. I'd agree. And that's weird to say because obviously they weren't in the Super Bowl. But
They've never been in the Super Bowl.
No, and they lost their 2 OCs, which is big, but their roster is also super
Stacked.
good.
And I think the key to that team, as far as coaches go, is Dan Campbell. Like that dude.
Yeah.
He's the number one
And the guys
motivator.
they just want to play for him.
Yeah. They have 2 really good running backs, Amon Ra, Jared Goff. They might have, honestly, the best roster. Them or the Eagles, I would say.
Yeah, I think
And
the
they
Eagles
drop
roster
off,
is-
then it would be like Baltimore. But like you have Aiden Hutchinson who got hurt
he'll be
last year.
back.
He wasn't able to play.
I mean,
Dude,
does he?
think
That
of how many-
changes a lot.
How
if
many
Hayden
injuries
Hutchinson's
do
in it.
they have? I think they had like 15 guys on their defense
Yeah,
on
that's
IR at one point. Like
insane.
they were getting screwed.
yeah.
And that might come from the identity of the team to where it's like we're gonna play hard. If
Yeah.
we get hurt. We're gonna practice hard. We're gonna hit pad to pad. Like maybe that's part of the reason why, but I don't know.
Definitely
Their
could be.
roster's stacked, and if they come back healthy and they stay healthy throughout the year, they're going to be tough to beat.
I know we were saying we would have loved to see a Detroit and Bills Super Bowl, which would be sweet.
I love it.
But it would also suck because I also would like to have like the Chiefs or even now the Eagles in there just to have a team to really root against.
Yeah.
Because I'd have a hard time in the Super Bowl. It's like, yeah, you just want to watch a good game, but it's like, man, I would love to. It's nice to watch the Chiefs just get bodied. Like,
Right.
Yeah, the way they got bodied last year in the Super Bowl,
was
I
fun.
did like. Part of me like that. I always love a close game. I loved seeing them just get destroyed.
Yeah.
Now,
The Lions.
call me a hater. Call me a hater.
Oh,
I am.
I'm
You're
right
a
there with you,
hater.
Bob.
Don't
right
care.
there with you. I think the Lions, probably in my eyes, the second best team, second best Super Bowl favorites. The only problem would be that they have to go through the Eagles, but they're stacked.
Yeah,
Love 'em.
and that's all. That's all 32, folks.
All right, so this is our completed tier list. I'm sure there are some people who disagree with this.
If you
which-
disagree, you're wrong.
yeah, so
Sorry.
Put it in the comments.
yeah, let us know thoughts
There will
below.
be so little comments, we will respond.
We'll respond to every single one. Yeah, but solid list, I think overall. Nothing really I would change.
Yeah, there's really nothing that we
Um,
really disagreed too hard on. I feel like a lot of these teams kind of just fell into their place. Naturally, there
Yeah,
there
know
will be
your
some
place,
teams.
teams.
Yeah, there will be some teams that shock, some teams injuries happen and stuff like that. But I mean, we'll see. I'm excited for the NFL draft. See where
Coming
some
up,
of
man.
these teams
I know
and
that's gonna
directions
change a lot.
going.
Gonna change a lot.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
So,
But-
thanks for
All right.
watching.
Yeah.
Signing off.
Signing off until next
Peace.
time.